Long time no see, guys. What's up? Quantrix 2 here with another special edition of What's New. I'm hoping that everybody had a great holiday. They had Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. I hope you had a great one. I know I haven't seen you guys since the arrival, not the arrival, but the takeover review. And I'm just hoping you guys had a great holiday and a happy new year. And speaking of new year, this is what this video is about. It is a year in review. We're going to look over all the big things that happened in wrestling in 2014. And we're going to kick it off, guys. It's going to be great. So let's do it. So we begin the year with January. And I'll tell you, a lot of eventful things happened in January, especially if we're talking about WWE. A lot of big things. First of all, this review kind of year review kind of starts off on a bad note because we see the passing of Mae Young. We also know about Mae Young. Mae Young is a WWE Hall of Famer. We know that she wrestled in I don't know how many decades, four to five different decades of wrestling. Probably one of the oldest members of the WWE family, and I remember all her antics with Fabulous Moolah and the hand thing, all that great stuff that just made Mae Young just such an awesome person. She always wanted to get in the ring, and then I know she wanted to get in the ring for her 100th birthday, and I was hoping she would make it to that. But yeah, great lady, and she's definitely gonna be missed. Yeah, we lost her right at the beginning of the year, and that really sucked. So rest in peace, Mae Young. Next, we got the return of the Animal Batista. We were seeing a whole bunch of promos for the anticipation of the return of the Animal. Batista's been away from WWE since 2010, and he finally made his return January, just in time for the Royal Rumble match. But what we didn't know is how great or not so great Batista was going to be in the ring, and we found out later on from the Royal Rumble until he left that Batista wasn't the same Batista, at least in ring wise. He was kind of lacking, in ring wise. I mean, he was sloppy, fatigued, all that stuff, and the fans really turned against Batista really quickly, and this hate for Batista will really set the bar for what will happen on the road to WrestleMania, and we get to that a little bit later. Next, we get to the Royal Rumble. The New Age Outlaws win the Tag Team Championships. I believe it was from the Rose Brothers. Yeah, from the Rose Brothers. And this is the reason I put this up here. You're probably thinking, why the New Age Outlaws winning the Tag Team Championship is a big deal? Well, I mean, the two guys, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg have not been tag champions since the turn of the millennium, or 99 or whatever, and they're here, two Attitude Era guys winning the championships in 2014. That's crazy. That's big to me. And for a fan of those two guys, I was very happy to see those guys hold those championships one more time. And they went on to have some decent matches with the Rose Brothers and the Shield and the Usos. So yeah, I was really happy to see Road Dogg and Billy Gunn in the ring one more time, just to say they did it, because I'm a huge fan. Oh, you didn't know? Continuing with the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, Roman Reigns would break the streak of Kane. Kane, who had set the record for I shouldn't say streak, but he set the record for most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble, and for years that record held up until this year, when Roman Reigns Superman punched, speared, and threw everybody outside the ring, beating Kane's record, which I believe was it like 12 or something like that. I should wrote that down. I didn't write it down, but you guys know Roman Reigns went ham, as I should say, at the Royal Rumble, eliminating many superstars. and breaking Kane's record, which is definitely a big deal for the big guy. I'm not talking about Ryback. Next, we had something that was probably the most controversial thing to happen. First of all, let me get to this. Batista wins the Royal Rumble. People are pissed because they wanted Daniel Bryan to be inserted into the match. We know that Daniel Bryan had a match with Bray Wyatt earlier in the night, and everybody's like was expecting Daniel Bryan to make his way into the Royal Rumble match. People were going for CM Punk, who was #1 in the Rumble, and was eventually eliminated by Kane. And the only hope they had was that Daniel Bryan would be in the match, because everybody knew, well, the Smarks and the Marks knew, that Batista would most likely be winning the Royal Rumble matchup, and it would be Batista versus Randy Orton at WrestleMania 30. And I'm telling you, nobody in their right mind, except probably the WWE, wanted to see that match. Nothing against Batista, nothing against Randy Orton. Randy Orton's one of my favorite superstars of all time, and I respect Batista. I like Batista, but nobody in 2014, nobody wanted to see that match at WrestleMania 30. And the crowd was booing. They were booing it to hell because it came down to Roman Reigns and Batista. Dan Bryan was never in the Rumble, and Batista ends up eliminating Roman Reigns and winning the 2014 Royal Rumble match and lighting a fire in the seats of the fans. The fans were just livid. They were hating. Even they had Mick Foley tweeting online and writing journals and all that stuff about how pissed he was about this decision, which totally understandable. A lot of the wrestling world was really upset about this, but that probably was the biggest thing until the next night, where the biggest news in 2014 as far as wrestling goes happened, and that was the walkout of CM Punk. CM Punk walked away from WWE, and nobody knew why. There was all these speculations that it had to do with him not winning the Rumble, him having to wrestle Triple H at WrestleMania 30, him not getting the main event, or him just being injured. There's a lot of speculation on why CM Punk walked out, and we didn't know, because I was one of the guys wondering why CM Punk was not on Raw the next night. He was not there, and then this news comes out that he leaves and goes away, and we don't find out the real reason for all this until about 10 months down the line, which I will get to that in a little bit. But let's keep going. Alright guys, next month is February in the WWE, and really big news comes out. It is the return of Hulkamania, brother. Hulk Hogan returns from TNA. He was in TNA for a while. He left TNA earlier, I don't know if it was last 2013 or early January. He left TNA and came back to the WWE to host WrestleMania 30, which was a awesome thing. Nobody really expected to see Hogan back so soon, and we all knew we would see Hogan back in the WWE, but I know it would be as soon as it was. And sooner or later we found out that he was hosting WrestleMania 30. It's a big thing. There's a lot of Hulkamanias out there, Hulkamaniacs, and everybody wanted to see Hulk Hogan return home to where he became a star, the WWE. So Hulk Hogan hosts WrestleMania 30. He's announced, he comes out and announces that he was doing that. It's also announced, I believe, I don't know, it was a couple weeks later or something, that the Ultimate Warrior, who also has not been seen in the WWE since the mid-90s, would be returning to the WWE to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, which is a big thing. As Ultimate Warrior is one of those big names beside Macho Man Randy Savage, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Razor Ramon, to who people really want to see go into the Hall of Fame. And he was that first name, big name, had Hall of Fame headliner. And me knowing that I was going to WrestleMania, I was stoked to hear the fact that Ultimate Warrior would be returning to the WWE, and it was just an awesome thing to see. But we get to all that stuff later. Next, another really big thing that changed WWE. When WWE says a lot of things, how this moment will change WWE forever. This time, they are not live because this literally changed the way we look at wrestling forever, the way we view it, the way we do all that stuff, and that was the debut of the highly anticipated WWE Network. WWE Network they've been talking about this thing for what, a year? I remember they showed the early 2013 or maybe 2012. I don't know. They showed the little video package of what the WWE Network will be bringing to WWE and to fans all around the world. And if you don't know the WWE, if you don't know what the WWE Network is, I don't know. I'm not sure why you're watching this video. You've been on the rock if you're a wrestling fan. WWE Network is a great thing. For only I gotta put it in there, $9.99 a month, you were able to get loads of content from ECW to WCW, Bruce some AWA stuff over there, and of course WWE, WWF, what they're going to call it, content, original series, all that stuff. I basically just cut a promo for telling you what WWE Network is, but that's what it is, basically. And it was a big deal. They had a whole huge like panel with Hulk Hogan, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Stone Cold Steve Austin, I believe, was there. For the launch of this network. I think Diggs was there too. Which it definitely is a big deal because it really has changed the way, changed a lot, not just for us fans, but for the WWE period, because no longer is it the days of having to pay $80, $75 for a pay-per-view. All you have to do is sign up for this monthly subscription that's like Netflix and Hulu, and you get every single pay-per-view for $9.99 a month, and it is a great value. I love it. There's tons of great stuff up there, and I'm grateful that we have it. Now, the only thing that's wrong with this, as far as you look at the business side of the WWE, is that this has cut something that CM Punk kind of talked about in his conversation, which I'll be talking about later, happening later in the year, is that they don't know how the WWE superstars are going to get paid now. And you can tell that because of this, because of the slow success. I'm not saying that it's a failure, but a slow success. It's not being as successful as it should be, and because of that, a lot of budget cuts are happening. For example, we've seen a couple superstars get released, staff members get released, and just you can tell from, like, if you look at the pay-per-views now, they used to have really awesome different pay-per-view structures, but now they're all the same. They all look like Raw and SmackDown, just with the pay-per-view Minitron on top of it. I guess they don't have the money to really be spending on that because of this. The WWE Network has really hit them financially. But hopefully, within a year or two, things will start to rise up for the WWE, and we can start to get back to, they can become more financially stable, and then, things will be a little bit better for them. But yeah, WWE Network is a great value. I'm happy to have it. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. All right, so March comes, and nothing really big happens in March. So we're just gonna go on to April, which is a huge month for the WWE. A lot of things happened, specifically WrestleMania 30. It was WrestleMania time again, Hall of Fame time. So we're gonna go through this in order. First, we got the induction of the Ultimate Warrior, who came in, had a great speech, and I was excited to see the Ultimate Warrior be inducted. We also saw the induction of fan favorites like Lita, anticipated people to be inducted in the Hall of Fame like Shake the Snake Roberts and Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon. Mr. T was there talking about his mama. It was great. It's a great induction for all those guys, and yeah, it was really good. Now let's get to WrestleMania. One of the big things that happened at WrestleMania, the biggest thing that happened at WrestleMania, was the Brock Lesnar ending the streak of the Undertaker. The a streak that has lasted what for 2 decades came to an end at WrestleMania 30. Probably one of the most shocking things I was a part of. I remember being in the crowd and just being confused. Like all I could do was just want to look at the I was looking at the crowd, and everybody just had this big lazy eyed look with their mouths open, could not believe that it counted. We all thought it was a botch. Everybody thought that the referee botched the count, and Brock Lesnar won, and there was nothing for a while. Everybody was just looking, and then we look on the Minitron, and it says 21-1, and then I think everybody's gut just drops. Can't believe they were in the building for the end of the streak. Brock Lesnar is the 1-21-1. He is the one that ended probably the greatest spectacle about WrestleMania. He ended that. Was that match great? No. It was not very good, but you're not going to remember that match. You're going to remember Brock Lesnar pinning Undertaker's shoulder down for the 1, 2, 3, something that we thought was impossible. And Brock Lesnar has shown that Undertaker is nothing more than immortal. He is no longer an immortal man anymore. And it was always go down as probably one of the greatest moments. Well, I don't know what to call it great, but infamous moments in WrestleMania history, with Brock Lesnar ending the streak, and him ending the streak would kick off one hell of a year for Brock Lesnar, which I will be getting to in a little bit. But so yeah, the streak ends. Daniel Bryan main events WrestleMania 30. Like I told you, people were pissed off that we were going to get this Batista Orton match, and thanks to the fans and the Yes Movement, WWE could no longer ignore the Daniel Bryan chance. Everybody wanted Daniel Bryan, and we got Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, not in one night, defeated in the opening match, defeated Triple H to get his shot, to get his chance to be into the WWE Championship match, and later on he would defeat Batista and Randy Orton to become the WWE Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And just a awesome moment that I was glad I was a part of. Seeing Daniel Bryan, this kid who was worked his ass off in the Indies, come to the WWE, gets fired, then return and becomes a huge star. And it was just a great moment that I will never forget. After that, we saw on the next night after WrestleMania, we saw Paige make her debut. In beating AJ Lee and putting an end to her title reign that was going about, I think, like 200 and something days. She ended that and won the Divas Championship on her first night on Raw. 29-year-old Paige makes history. It was pretty awesome. We also got to see the Ultimate Warrior make his first appearance on Monday Night Raw since the 90s. Great moment. He had this touching speech that was just awesome, and it's gonna always live down in history. And I hate that speech. It's really scary. It's really scary, and it really got to my heart because when we got home, when I returned home from New Orleans, I started getting tweets that the Ultimate Warrior had passed away, and I couldn't believe it because we just saw this guy a day ago, and now I get home and I see this, and I found that it's true, and I mean, it's really scary because that speech he talks about how Ultimate Warrior will live on forever, and some of how you breathe your last breath and all that, and it's really eerie moment, but yeah, Ultimate Warrior had passed away when the following day, and it's just a sad thing, man. It felt like it was just a roller coaster ride for this guy. He returns to the WWE, gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, makes his appearance on Raw, and then the next night he's gone. And it just shows you how short life really is and how much you need to cherish it, because it can be gone just like that. I wish I would have got the chance to meet Ultimate Warrior. I was trying to find a way to meet him the whole weekend, but I couldn't. And it sucks that I never get a chance to meet Ultimate Warrior, because he seemed like a really, really cool guy. And I'm glad that he finally got to, put this whole WWE beef behind him. And now they were on the same page, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, Ultimate Warrior, rest in peace, man. Godspeed. Ultimate Warrior will live in the hearts of every Warrior fan forever. Thank you. Alright, guys, so we're finally to the summer. It's June, and big thing, one really, really big thing happens in June, and that is the end of the Shield. The Shield was going hot for 2 years. Probably one of the hottest things on WWE television was the Shield. They're main eventing, main event pay-per-views. They're beating guys, big names, John Cena, CM Punk, Evolution, 2 wins over Evolution. These guys were the thing. These guys were the future of the company, and they saw the future. But Seth Rollins decided that it was time for him to lead the pack, and hits his brother Roman Reigns in the back with the chair, ending the Shield, destroying the Shield, tearing them apart. And now, but I mean, maybe it was a great decision for him, because now Seth Rollins is Mr. Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns, he's on his way possibly to a WrestleMania main event. And Dean Ambrose, one of the most over superstars in the WWE right now. So as much as it sucks that the Shield disbanded, they all look like they're going on to bigger and better things. And it all started with that chair shot to the back of Roman Reigns from Seth Rollins. The man who seemed like he was trying to keep, it seemed like he was the glue of keeping that team together. Was it's funny that he was the one to break it apart in the end. Another really, really thing that a big thing that happened in June was that Daniel Bryan, due to injury, Daniel Bryan had to be stripped of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and the championship was put up for grabs in a Money in the Bank ladder match, which was won by John Cena, which really sucks for Daniel Bryan, who seemed to have this great run, and it all had to end because of injury, and that sucks. And I hope Daniel Bryan, he's still not back yet, but Daniel Bryan, get back, man. You got stuff to do. You got to win back that championship. We're all waiting for you. Hopefully 2015 will be the year Daniel Bryan will be back as WWE champion, and I can't wait to see it. Yes, yes, yes. So August rolls around, and the first big thing that happened in August is that Alberto Del Rio is released from the WWE. There was a whole big controversy about him smacking some guy in the back. The guy was apparently making fun of I guess him being Mexican or Latino, and he smacked him. And you know what? A lot of people are back and forth, like he shouldn't have touched the guy. In my opinion, if you are I don't care about being professional. I think and this is a guy who's really not a big fan of Alberto Del Rio, but in this case, I cannot fault him for what he did, smacking this guy. Apparently this guy was making jokes behind his back and to his face for years or whatever, months, whatever it was, and Del Rio wasn't going to take it anymore. He was getting disrespected. So when you're getting disrespected, you take action. And he took action, and he slapped the hell out of this guy, and you know what? He probably deserved it. And for that, WWE ended up releasing Alberto Del Rio, which is a really crappy situation. Excuse me. Yeah, he got released, and it's really messed up that he got released because of something stupid like that. And I hope to God that guy, whoever was making fun of him, got released too, because if not, that's definitely not fair. Then we move on to SummerSlam, the big match, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. and you want to call it a match, because it definitely was not a match. It was the first time in history where we got to see John Cena, the face of the company, get squashed in a main event by another person. Brock Lesnar literally destroyed him. 16 German suplexes and a couple of fives. Put John Cena away. John Cena barely had any offense. And the crowd was just in shock that this had happened to John Cena. And for a guy, I was really excited to see this. Like I said, this is not a great match, but it was definitely entertaining seeing that happen to John Cena for once in his life. Yeah, and Brock Lesnar becomes the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and they go on to have a match at Night of Champions. And now we're getting ready for our next match. Their next match, they're technically their fifth match, but their third in this feud for the WWE Championship. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Brock Lesnar, WWE World Heavyweight Champion in amazing fashion. So in October, actually I'm switching this, flipping it, and I know I've been talking a lot about WWE, which is what I've watched mostly. But TNA had some pretty big news too. In October, they had their Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which was in Japan, which is pretty cool. But I mean, I didn't get the chance to see the pay-per-view, but I heard that majority of the matches were just, you know, Japanese talent facing each other, and you know, you had a couple, I guess, TNA talent up there having matches too. But it wasn't anything big. Bound for Glory is supposed to be the WrestleMania of TNA, basically the big time pay-per-view, and they throw it away by having, I mean, no, nothing against these Japanese wrestlers, but no, at one time, not at one time do I believe these guys were built up at all to, you know, have a match. This is what you do in wrestling. You build up a match, you make it so that it can be anticipated, and then you have it. And these matches are just thrown on the card. I don't even think TNA had half of their, you know, talent pool. The big names like Jeff Hardy and Kurt Angle weren't wrestling. So I don't know. It was just really weird. The fact that it was in Japan is cool, but they definitely it should have been built around the TNA talent. Had your big storylines going on, and then you could have had maybe a battle royale or one match with two Japanese talents just to have it. But to have like half your match card be that is just really weird, and it tells you exactly how TNA has fallen drastically, and it will be continue to fall in the next coming months. All right, so we get to November, and like I said, TNA would fall, and yes, they did, because in early November, TNA would end their partnership with Spike TV. A long time relationship they had would end, and they would have to find a new network to go to. And they decided to go to, and I had to write this down. They went to Destination America, which I have never heard of, and I'm guessing it's not a very popular, you know, website. Not website, but website. Very popular channel, because I had never heard of it. So they're kind of in limbo. I haven't seen a TNA show since all this has happened. So I'm not sure how that's going to go, how that's going. But yeah, I believe in November. Also, Lucha Underground debuted, and I don't know, they could have been early October too. I'm not really sure. I should look this up. But yeah, Lucha Underground debuted, and looks like a pretty good concept. We got John Morrison up there as Johnny Mundo, Chavo Guerrero, and a lot of other guys like Ricochet, and so on and so forth, are up there, and it's a pretty cool show. I know it's like an hour show, definitely different format from TNA and WWE, which is good. And I always say that the more different these guys are from different from WWE, the better, because instead of trying to compete with WWE, just try to become an alternative for people to watch. That, and I believe, is how wrestling companies become successful. See, that's what TNA's problem was. They were trying to become the WWE, when you cannot beat the machine. I'm sorry, WWE is the big concho. They are on top of the hill, and there's no way anybody's going to be able to catch up to them. But instead of doing that, just become an alternative. and that is exactly what Lucha Underground is, and for that I commend them. It's a really awesome show, and I'm definitely looking forward to more of that in the future. I watched a couple. I haven't seen every single episode, but I watched a couple, and it's really good. I really like it. It's a really different feel, vibe, but it's good. It's good. I really like it. Next, we have the other big news. Sting made his first ever WWE appearance on television at Survivor Series this year. He would come in during the huge Survivor Series, traditional Survivor Series 5-on-5 matchup between the Authority and Team Cena, which saw him interfere when they tried to screw over Dolph Ziggler, who was the final member remaining on Team Cena. He would come in, hit the he was beat up Triple H and put Dolph Ziggler over Seth Rollins, I believe, and would cost the Authority everything. The Authority are now no longer in power, thanks to what they like to call the Vigilante Sting. So Sting making his first appearance. Hopefully he does something at Royal Rumble. Not Royal Rumble, but actually I hope he does do something at Royal Rumble. But I'm hoping he actually does something at WrestleMania. And it looks like they're going the way of Triple H versus Sting at WrestleMania, which is pretty cool. Everyone wants to see the Undertaker versus Sting, but now that the streak's over, I don't really care. And they're both really old, so it's probably better for him to work with Triple H anyway. But yeah, it's really awesome to see Sting in a WWE ring. That's really awesome. The guy alone survived the one man that Vince McMahon could not get made. Finally, many years later, would step into a WWE ring. Really awesome stuff. Next would be Thanksgiving, or the day before Thanksgiving. I don't know which one it was. CM Punk would finally, 10 months down the line, would finally set the record straight on what happened with his WWE walkout, why he left, and on Colt Cabana's podcast, which was really awesome. Nobody really expected him to do that, but he did, and he talked about the Triple H stuff, the Royal Rumble stuff, everything, a lot of different things. Working the Ryback, how much that sucked, but everybody was wondering why he left. And the big thing was that WWE did not care for it. It wasn't really caring for him. They didn't take care of him. So he was hurt all the time. Was banged up. They wanted him to rush back to on TV, do house shows. He had this big freaking bulge on his side that probably could have killed him if he would have held it on. Would have not done anything about it. Lucky for him, he got that checked out. And with all that said, he couldn't take it anymore. So he left WWE, and yeah, that's how we are here today with CM Punk. So for all those who were wondering, there you have it. And at the beginning of December, or next month, Vince McMahon will talk to Stone Cold Steve Austin about a whole bunch of different things on WWE Network. That's the first time we ever got to see Vince McMahon, the actual person, not the character, literally talk on something that he's producing, not in kayfabe, breaking kayfabe, and talking to Austin about lots of stuff, including CM Punk, including a lot of different subjects. It was a really awesome thing, really awesome interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin. And the final big thing to happen this year would be CM Punk signing with the UFC to fight in 2015. There's another thing. CM Punk's been hitting us with these back to back with these huge announcements and things. CM Punk really somehow CM Punk's the hottest wrestler in professional wrestling without even stepping into a ring this year, because he was the talk of the town. And this was probably one of the biggest news since his walkout. The fact that he signed with Dana White's promotion, UFC, mixed martial arts, another wrestler entering into this this new into a new profession for himself, which is we saw Brock Lesnar do it. Bobby Lashley and Batista got into it, but the fact that CM Punk is doing it, and it's probably the hottest thing, probably a great call by Dana White. A lot of people don't like it, especially the MMA fans. They're like, "Oh, this guy's a wrestler." Brock Lesnar was different because he was a collegiate wrestler in college and all that stuff. And it looks like a beast. And CM Punk's just a little scrawny, guy who thinks he can be an MMA fighter. But you know what? I, for one, as a fan of CM Punk, I'm happy to see him doing something that he can be happy about. He's the one to try this forever, so why not give him a shot? Let's see what he can do. I'm excited to see his first fight, and I definitely will be watching whenever it happens. Whenever it happens in 2015, yeah. So CM Punk signs with the UFC. Big news, and yeah, another bombshell by CM Punk. But yeah, guys, that is my year in review. A lot of big things happened. Some said, some good, some sad, some awesome. A lot of great things this year for WWE in particular, and wrestling as well. But yeah, hopefully 2015 will be even better, especially with the signing of big time indie stars like Kevin Steen, now known as Kevin Owens, Prince Devitt, now known as Finn Balor, and Hideo Itami, aka Kenta. All these guys being signed to WWE contracts now in NXT. Hopefully we can see these guys move up to the main roster and make a huge impact, just like guys like Daniel Bryan and CM Punk did for them. I'm just really excited for 2015. It seems like some stuff in WWE has been lacking, and I've had my rants about that stuff, but hopefully things will turn around 2015 and we'll see a lot of great things. Not only in WWE, even professional wrestling, period. We've got Jeff Jarrett's Global Force Wrestling about to get lifted off the ground. Hopefully TNA, they get their stuff together and not go out of business completely. And maybe I'll watch a little bit more ROH. We'll see. We'll see what I want to be doing. But yeah, a lot of great things coming in WWE. Hopefully a lot of great things coming on this channel as well. So guys, stay tuned. Have a happy new year. I hope 2014 was good to you, and I hope 2015 is even better for you. And I know it is. Hopefully it will be for me as well. So until next next year, guys, it's probably going to be my last video until 2015. Comment, rate, subscribe. There you go, everybody. See you in 2015. Peace.